Stripe and PayPal make it pretty easy to add a buy or subscription button to your website and then collect credit card information from a customer to complete the purchase. If you're selling a digital product, you'll probably want to then deliver a serial number to that user that they can use to activate the software on their computer. You might also want to offer different editions of your product within a single downloadable installer, or maybe advanced features that they could later purchase and add to their existing application that they've downloaded. Doing those kind of things can get fairly complicated and expensive, and that's where Payment License Server comes in. So in this video, we're going to look at some of the benefits of Payment License Server, some of the different purchase options you might want to consider, and then look at a few live examples. So in terms of benefits, with Payment License Server, you can have a fully automated process where somebody can make a purchase by entering their credit card information. They're taken to a download page. They can then download your application and use a serial number that's automatically delivered to them to activate. You can also have upsell processes where once they've made a purchase, they can later add some advanced features to the existing application they've already downloaded and activated. It's all based on the serial number that's assigned to that customer during the initial purchase process. With Payment License Server, it's pretty easy to make price changes or add new purchase options without advanced technical skills. The whole process is self-hosted on your own server, and it can work from any customer-facing website. There's no additional e-commerce fees to pay, just your normal credit card processing fees for doing credit card transactions. And finally, the process of getting everything set up is pretty straightforward. There's no APIs to learn or programming required. Let's assume for a moment you're a software developer and you've created a software estimating application. You'd like to deliver that to a user as a single downloadable installer, but make it available as either a home edition or a residential edition for contractors or a commercial contractor edition. And you'd like to be able to sell it as either a one-time purchase where they click a button, make a purchase, and then activate it for life, or as a monthly subscription. So we see some different buy buttons on this web page for doing those type of things. Now the software that can make all this possible for any type of development environment is Quick License. So you can define the different types of licenses and apply it to Mac applications, Windows applications, or Linux applications, regardless of the development environment used to actually build those applications. You would also need an online activation server to handle the online serial number activation process, and there's a companion product to that called Desktop License Server that handles that aspect of it. But for this video, we're just going to be focused on making the purchase and delivering out the serial number to a user. So let's take a look at what would happen if the user was to buy this home edition. They would click the button, enter credit card information, and then be taken to a download page. And we'll look at the live process playing out in a moment. But for now, let's just look at what the download page might look like. So here we can see the user's taken to a download page, and they're given instructions about a serial number that's been sent to them by email to activate, and here's a link to download. So once they download, launch, they'll get an activation screen where they can activate the software uniquely to their computer, and then they can use it for life on that machine. Now let's look at a different example where a contractor has decided to buy the residential or the commercial edition of your application. Again, they would click the button, enter their credit card information, and they would be taken to a download page. And in this example, the download page could look a bit different. The initial part is the same. They'll still receive a serial number by email, and then they can download, install, launch, and activate your application. However, in the case of this contractor, they might work in an office where other employees would also like to run your software. So you can add the ability for them to purchase additional activations for other computers. You might also offer some more advanced features like maybe an inventory module or a pricing module. All that software can be built into the initial software that they downloaded from your computer but has not yet been enabled until they make one of these purchases. So whenever they make any of these purchases, what they're going to get is an email with a feature token, and then they can apply that to their existing serial number. And we'll see how that works. So as soon as they click one of these buttons again, they'll enter their credit card information, and then they're taken to another page. And on this page, they have a place where they can take that serial number they already had from the first purchase and enter it here, and the feature token they just received, and click apply. Now they're able to, if they purchased additional activations, they can use that same serial number and activate on other computers. If they purchase one of these advanced modules, they will then run your software, and that new capability will be immediately available in the software. And that was all taking place by the cooperation of the payment license server and desktop license server if you're selling a desktop application with Quick License. And finally, on this page is another optional item that you can add, where when they make the initial purchase and they receive the serial number, or later if they purchase one of these tokens, feature tokens, to add some advanced feature to the serial number they already bought, in either case, you can have an option right on the download page where they can just enter their serial number and click a button, and then they'll just get the serial number or the feature token immediately without having to go off and look at their email account to get it in the email message. Let's look at another example where a contractor wants to buy the residential or commercial subscription edition of your product. So they again would click one of these buttons, enter their credit card information, and be taken to a download page. Let's look at the download page. The user is going to download and then run your installer and enter the serial number to activate it. Here we see a field on this screen. Again, if they don't want to go to their email address or their email account to get the serial number, they can just enter their email address and click lookup, and it'll just show the serial number right in this web page. And then finally, the user might want to make changes to their credit card information over time. If they're doing a software subscription, their card's going to automatically be charged once a month or once a year, based on the type of subscription you're selling. And if you've used Stripe payment processor to handle your credit card payments, there's a mechanism with Payment License Server where you can have a little entry field right on your page, and when they receive that initial email, they'll be assigned a customer subscription ID. And if they just go and enter their ID right into this field, click the portal button, it'll take them right into a portal page where they can update their credit card over time or even cancel the subscription if they'd like to. We're back to our buy page, and we've set up a product purchase in Stripe and added the purchase URL to the picture on this web page. And likewise, we've linked our Stripe account to the payment license server with a automated purchase record all set up on our server. By the way, the complete video of that setup process for Stripe and payment license server, or for PayPal and payment license server, that's provided in a separate video. So let's go through and look at what the live purchase process would look like. So the customer is going to, in this case, click the home quote button there, and they're taken to the credit card entry field where they can see they're purchasing the home quote for $95. There's a little icon there of it, and they'll just enter their credit card information. So let's go ahead and do that now. So when the user clicks the Pay button, that credit card information is now being sent to the Stripe account. It's completed the transaction, put the funds in your Stripe account, transfer the order data to payment license server, and it's automatically generated a customized email sent to the user with their assigned serial number. And now the user is ready to click the download button, install your software, launch, and enter that serial number into an activation screen. Payment License Server comes with an admin application that you can run from a Mac or Windows computer. It presents a window that you can use to set up the initial server. So you'll be creating a purchase record for each individual product that you sell with a PayPal or Stripe button. And that's all covered in another video. But you can also use it to retrieve and update information on the server. So you can see the purchase screen is this record of information that's used during the setup process. And you can see how you could customize the subject or the body of the email message. And then you could link your payment license server to an email server for sending the outgoing message. That could be like a Gmail account or Yahoo mail account. But what we're going to look at now is the online screen. And first we'll click this synchronize button. That just pops up a dialog indicating that all the information on our local computer is synchronized with what's on the server. And we're going to, well, we have a logging feature that you can use that's more useful during the initial setup process, because you can essentially turn on daily logs, and then every time information is sent to the server or the server does something, it basically generates a log in today's log. And then you can select the date and then show the log messages to kind of see what's going on the server. But what we're going to look at now is the actual transaction that is created during the purchase process. So if we go and select our purchase process here, we've been playing with a lot of different purchase process. This is the one we were looking at a few moments ago with that the particular buy buttons. But if we select our purchase process and then we click on the refresh button next to transactions, it'll show a list of all the transactions that have occurred as that purchase process was used. So far we've only made one purchase, so there's just one transaction here. But if we click on the show button, we can see the details of that transaction. So here you can see the date it occurred, the serial number that was assigned, the outgoing email address for the customer, the customer's name, and what they ordered and the amount. So all the information relevant to that transaction is captured in a record, and that information is what's used to construct a customized email message that goes out to that customer. Let's also look at the actual email that was sent to the buyer. So we see that we're in our email reader here. We can see that we have the subject of the email, and in the body of the email, we have the significant piece of information required by the user, and that's the serial number they received during the purchase process so they can activate the product they just purchased. To summarize, Payment License Server provides a relatively easy and inexpensive way to link your PayPal or Stripe purchase buttons for products or subscriptions to your server, so that when a purchase occurs, a serial number is automatically assigned and delivered to the customer. You can do more advanced features as well, like increase the number of activations for a serial number or set specific features within the purchase product.